Hey. So thanks for joining me. Before I get started, if you're watching on YouTube, you know I'm like looking around. I am in my office space, which is kind of a multi-functional space. It's office slash workout. And I have been working on rearranging the whole house, really, but making certain places where I spend a lot of time more functional and more comfortable and I don't know, more functional in the sense that they work better for me mentally and physically. So I'm all of that to say I'm in the middle of like reconfiguring this space and I've created you can't see it. I think even on Zoom I'll have to change the background is blurred right now, but I have created more of a seating space for podcasting. So I have a couple of leather chairs, I have a cool new table and plant, and I'm going to move. If you've ever seen the art in my office, this is way off tangent, off topic for this episode, but just kind of a little personal share. If you've ever seen, well, probably in different episodes or maybe even in reels on Instagram, you may have seen a piece of chalk art that's really large on one of the walls. I'm looking at it right now on one of the walls in my office and workout space. Excuse me. And it was a gift from a student when I was vice president. And long story about the integration of art and biology courses and work that we did on that. But this student, as a part of some of those cross-referencing curriculum bits, drew in art this full skeletal body, but it has these beautiful butterflies, and she's standing kind of in a meadowy area with flowers. Anyway, it's a huge piece of art. I would say it's like, I don't know, maybe like 5 by 4, something like that. It's on one wall. I'm going to move it to the podcasting area, and I'm taking it actually to have it framed and preserved. So that's cool. And I will fix it where you can actually see that in my background. So there you go. Just a little share time with what's going on in my life, about 4 minutes of information you probably did not want to hear. So what I do want to chat with you about today is something that I was just talking about with clients on a coaching call, in fact, earlier today. And I shared with them how, you know what, I need to do a podcast about this. And they were like, yes, you absolutely do. It's honestly, it was one of those moments on that coaching call where you could just like feel the light bulbs and the connection going off with clients, right? And so we were diving into this idea of identity and how the way we see ourselves can really hold us back, or it can be the key to everything that you are trying to achieve. And it is such a big deal. And you know, I'm not like this woo person, okay? So hang in here with me. But this is such a big deal because so many of us think that we need to change our habits or we need to change our routines. And the truth is, the real transformation comes when we shift who we believe we are at our core. And I want to share that with you today and talk a little bit about it because let's be honest, you're probably just doing the same thing over and over. You're working hard on your actions and you're looking for what kinds of things can I change about how I eat? What kinds of things can I change about how I exercise? And you're doing that without really realizing that your identity is actually running the show. And what I find with clients is that when they make this shift, that's when true transformation takes place. And that is what allows their body to actually start making a ton of physical progress. They will tell you that is what drives their results. So here's what I want to share. And it's what I shared with my clients this morning. Your identity is like the foundation of a house. All right. Think about it that way. If it's shaky and outdated, then everything that you try to build on top of it, whether it's healthier habits, it's a stronger mindset, it's weight loss goals, whatever it is, it's going to constantly feel like a struggle. But when your identity aligns with your goals, that's when everything gets easier. It's suddenly like you are building that house on a solid, rock hard concrete foundation. Okay, let me give you an example. Someone, this might even be someone you might know. If you follow me on social media, you saw that I shared Judy, one of my amazing clients. And she shared something actually that really hit me. For the longest time, she said she saw herself as the woman who always put herself last. All right. That's how she described herself. But what she told me here recently was that she said, Lori, I realize that every time I make a choice to prioritize my health, even if it's something as small as like prepping a meal or saying no to something that drains me, she said, I'm proving to myself that I am not that woman anymore. And how freaking powerful is that, isn't it? So, what I want you to do is like pause for a second, and this is just like we did on the coaching call this morning. And think about this. What identity are you holding on to right now? And it can be something like, I'm too busy to focus on myself. It's those seemingly small messages, thoughts, stories that go through our head that actually is our identity. So pause for a second. Are you saying things like, I'm too busy to focus on myself right now? I won't be able to be disciplined through the holidays. The holidays are crazy busy. And so I've just got to get through that and focus on all of the things I need to get done for work, for gift shopping, for travel right now. Whatever it is, take a minute, identify it, and name it. Name it. What is that identity that you're holding on to right now? Name her. Busy, stressed, anxious, whatever it is, name it. Because until you see it, you can't change it. Until you become aware of it, you cannot change it. And remember, this isn't about beating yourself up. It's about being curious and identifying where it is that we're holding ourselves back. And you may think that sounds kind of this intangible, but you've got to start there. Trust me and trust this process. You have to get curious and really think about, without being critical, without being judgmental to yourself, think about what is the identity that I am replaying in my head that I'm holding on to. Now, here's the thing. Judy, who I talked about, did not wake up one day and just suddenly become this woman who prioritizes her health, right? It started with small things, small choices that added up. First off, she decided that she was going to commit to change. And that's when she reached out to me. She was like, I have to do something. That is the first small step, the first small choice that I see so many women refuse to make. You've got to start there. I talk about this. Oftentimes I talk about this in terms of like, are you interested, and are you curious, or are you intrigued, versus are you committed? Because I talk with women all day long, every day, who are just interested. They talk a lot about wanting to lose weight. And I'm just going to be very blunt and direct about this because it's a pattern that I've seen for over 10 years. I recognized it in myself. Thank God I became open enough to work on my mindset to recognize it and change it. and it's what I hope for every woman that I talk to, but I see most women, the majority of the women who I talk to, do a lot of talking and not a lot of doing. You know, we would call it like being full of hot air, being full of shit. You talk, but you never truly commit to doing anything. That's the majority of the people who I talk to. It is a small percentage of women who actually say, I'm committed to making change. I have to find a solution. I have to find something that is actually right for me. And they decide when someone's committed, they decide they're going to do it. And no matter what it takes, they are going to do it. So first, you have to make that small, simple choice. Not easy, but it is a very simple choice to be committed versus talking about a lot of stuff that you're not going to do versus being interested in changing, but not being willing to change. So that's the first thing. Judy made that decision before she even got on the phone with me. The last straw, if you will, she saw a former colleague of hers on my social media page, and she was like, I'm reaching out, I'm doing this. And so she made that decision. And every time you make a choice like that, every time you decide to do something a little bit different and become a person who prioritizes yourself, I call that casting votes. Like you're voting for your new identity. You're casting a vote for who you have decided you will be. And every time Judy said yes to walking after dinner, or to not having, another glass of wine, every time she makes a choice like that, she's casting a vote for the woman who she has decided she is going to be. And you can do that too. It's not about being perfect. It's about those little moments of evidence that add up over time. And another example, the other day, another client of mine shared that she started keeping a water bottle on her desk as a reminder to hydrate. And that sounds like this small, tiny, no big deal kind of thing, right? But that is a vote for her becoming the person who takes care of herself. So I want you to leave this chat today with one thought. Who do you want to become? And what's one small thing you can do today, just one thing that casts a vote for her? Maybe it's setting aside 10 minutes for yourself. Maybe it's saying no to something that doesn't serve you, because it can be about what you choose to do. And you can also cast a vote by what you choose not to do or not to think. Whatever it is, I want you to do it and to know that you're proving to yourself that you are that woman. You're collecting evidence that reinforces the identity you want to have. And that's the big thing that I tell clients all the time. You are going to prove whatever you believe. Your brain is hardwired to prove what you believe. So if you believe in the identity of the woman who is too busy, in the identity of the woman who can't prioritize herself right now, in the identity of the woman who needs to wait until after the holidays to get started on her health journey, if you believe that, then your brain is hardwired to prove that. And so your actions, your thoughts, everything in your surroundings will all be evidence for that identity. And the more evidence you have for that identity that you don't want to have, the stronger that identity is going to become. You're going to become more of that person who's too busy, who puts yourself off, who waits until the holidays, and you'll never, ever, ever get to the progress and the results that you want. By the same token, if you start to become aware of those thoughts and you change your belief to, I'm not too busy, I can take 10 minutes a day for myself. I am starting this health journey today. Then your brain will look for evidence to prove that belief. You will find yourself doing things like parking a little bit farther from the store door. You will find yourself getting up 10 minutes early and spending quiet time outside drinking your coffee just to have 5 or 10 minutes of peace for yourself. You will find yourself doing things to reinforce, to be evidence of the identity and the belief that you have. And it sounds kind of simple when I break it down in that way, but here's the truth. It is freaking that simple. You have to make the decision first, and you have to believe in that scientific evidence that says your brain is going to find evidence of what it believes. Hands down, it is going to find evidence of what it believes. So you can choose to continue to believe in your shitty identity that you don't want, or you can create a new identity and begin to believe that and take small steps, small choices to cast a vote for that identity every single day. All right, that is my Lori lecture for today. Thanks so much for hanging in here with me. I know sometimes it's hard to listen to these things and be open to recognizing yourself in them. I know it is. I also know that if this resonated with you today, or if Judy's story maybe reminded you of your own journey, let me know. I would love to hear from you. Share this episode with a friend, write a review, rate the podcast, send me a message. And so thanks for being here with me today. I love it when you hang out with me. Until next time, I'll see you right back here next time, right? And until then, cast votes for the woman you're becoming, for the woman you want to be. It's never too late, and your vote is never too small. It matters. Thanks for being here.